Commanders fans, you gotta hear this. Because what's about to happen this Monday could flip our whole season upside down. While you've all been waiting on news, Dan Quinn just dropped a bomb that's got the whole DMV shaking. We're talking about the possible return of our star at the most crucial time. An offensive line guarding Jaden Daniels like he's straight gold. And a player absolutely nobody saw coming. But now you're left wondering why we never trusted him from the jump. And if you still think this organization is the same one it was 2 years ago, you're dead wrong, and I'm gonna show you exactly why. Let me break you off with some real talk that's got all of Washington holding their breath. Dan Quinn just confirmed that Terry McLaurin, Sam Cosmi, and Noah Brown could be back this Monday against the Bears, and when I say could, I'm not talking about rumors. I mean the number one receiver in this organization, the dude who's carried this offense on his back for years, is just days away from being back under the Monday Night Football lights. Now let me ask you this, can you even imagine what it means to have Terry McLaurin back, with Jaden Daniels playing at his peak? I'm telling you right now, it's the difference between a dangerous offense and a flat-out unstoppable offense. Look at the stats in those 2 weeks without Terry. We had to lean hard on Luke McCaffrey in a ground game that, yeah, it was dominant, but it limited us when it came to taking deep shots. Don't get me wrong, we still took those Ws, but everyone knows that without our guy number 17 out there, we left plenty of points on the field. And here's where a lot of folks are missing the point. Quinn isn't rushing anybody. Listen to what he said. We're going to take all the right steps. If they can fully show how they play, then they're ready. If not, we'll keep waiting. That, my friends, is what real leadership looks like. After years of seeing this team wreck careers by rushing guys back, we finally have a medical and coaching staff that puts long-term health first. But Terry ain't the only one. Sam Cosmi, that 300-pound beast who tore his ACL in the playoffs against Detroit, his 21-day window is open. Now let me explain why that's huge. Cosmi ain't just a decent right tackle. He's a Pro Bowl guard that brings a physical presence to this O-line that Andrew Wiley, with all due respect, just does not have. Wiley's been solid. I won't take that away from him. But Cosmi is different, younger, more explosive, and when healthy, he's one of the best run-blocking guards in the whole league. And it gets even wilder. Noah Brown is in the mix too. The same Noah Brown who's had a nightmare run with injuries, but when he's available, he's the most physical perimeter blocker we have. And in a Cliff Kingsbury system, where receivers have to block up front for Brian Robinson Jr. and Austin Eckler to break loose, getting Brown back isn't a luxury, it's a straight-up need. Now here's the question we all ought to be asking: why is Quinn being so careful with these guys when we got a primetime showdown on deck? I'll tell you, because for once, this organization is looking at January and February, not just October. Sure, we all want to win Monday, but if we rush Terry back and he tweaks that injury, or Cosmi comes back too soon and he's not 100%, what's the point? It's worthless. And just for some historical context, because this is real, remember when Chase Young came back too soon in 2021 and he was never the same? Or when Alex Smith pushed himself way too hard? This team has a history of torching careers because of short-term panic. But what Quinn's doing right now is different. This is what winning organizations do. The Eagles rest their stars. The Cowboys, even though Jerry Jones is chaotic, at least keep their blue-chip guys safe. And finally, now, we're operating at that same professional level, but let's get tactical. Because this is where it really gets good. If Terry comes back, everything for this offense opens up immediately. Safeties can't load the box like they've been doing the last couple weeks. Defenses have got to respect that 4-3 speed on those go routes from McLaurin. And when that happens, when defenses have to respect the deep threat, that's when Jaden Daniels gets straight deadly. He can pick apart the middle of the field with Olamide Zaccos, target Diami Brown on shallow crosses, and use Luke McCaffrey on those third down spots where he's been money. Here's my call. And go ahead and write this down. If Terry McLaurin plays Monday, he's gonna have a monster game. He's been out 2 weeks, watching his team battle without him. All that pent-up fire from being sidelined, he's coming back with something to prove. And you know how Terry is, he doesn't say a lot. His play does the talking. But when he's got that chip on his shoulder, when he's extra motivated, he turns into one of the most dominant receivers in the league. Now, here's another crucial piece y'all might be missing: the timing of this return could not be any better. We're going up against the Bears defense that, okay, it's improved, but it's still got holes in the secondary. Jalen Johnson solid, but cornerback 2 and 3, very beatable. And if Terry is in the lineup, It doesn't matter who they line up in the slot or at the 2 spot. He's gonna eat. Let me ask straight up, do you trust this medical staff is making the right calls? Because you know what, I do. For the first time in YEARS, it feels like real professionals are handling these situations. We're not rolling the dice. We're not risking careers. We are being smart about it. And that gives me more hope for this franchise than any single win could. If that blew your mind, hold on. Because what I'm about to tell you is the real reason why Jaden Daniels is thriving, and why this run game is putting up historic numbers. Laremy Tunsil isn't just playing well, he's playing like a first-team ALL pro tackle. And the stats I've got for you are just crazy. In his last 3 starts, Tunsil's played 97 pass protection snaps. You know how many pressures he's allowed? 2 quarterback hits, 0 sacks, 0. That's a pressure rate of 0.7%. Let me put this in perspective. Anything under 5% is considered elite play for a tackle. Tunsil is doubling up that elite standard. Now here's what really gets me juiced. Tunsil's doing this against some of the nastiest pass rushers in the NFL. We're not talking about cupcakes. We're talking about edge guys with Pro Bowls, Defensive Player of the Year trophies. Tunsil is making them look like preseason guys. And you know why Adam Peters was so aggressive about getting him? Because we finally have a GM who gets it. You can't have a winning team if you don't protect your franchise QB. Look at the Cowboys. How many times have they let Dak get roasted because they wouldn't put the money in the O-line? Look at the Giants. Daniel Jones never had a fighting chance because their O-line has been trash since he got drafted. But finally, we got someone who knows it's all won and lost in the trenches. And here's what sets Tunsil apart from just good tackles. He's got the athleticism, the technique, and the experience. This man's played in 5 Pro Bowls. He's gone up against all the best. He knows how to adjust his set based on what the pass rusher's throwing at him. Straight speed. He can mirror with his feet. Pure power. He's got the hands and anchor strength. Trick moves. He's got the smarts to anticipate and counter. But let me dig even deeper on what this means for Jaden Daniels specifically. As a rookie QB, one of the hardest adjustments in the NFL is the speed. Everything comes at you faster: the rush, the passing lanes, the mental processing. But when you've got Tunsil on your blind side, when you know the left is locked down, you can actually focus on what's happening downfield. Work your progressions. Trust your mechanics. And that's what we've seen these last few weeks. Look at the Chargers game. There was a moment in the 3rd quarter where Daniels had almost 6 seconds in a clean pocket. 6 seconds in the NFL. That's a lifetime. And why? Because Tunsil totally erased Khalil Mack from the blind side. I'm not exaggerating. Go watch the tape. Mack didn't touch Daniels once when he came from Tunsil's side. Here's my question: why didn't we make moves like this earlier? I'll tell you why: because we never had the right leadership. Dan Snyder and his circus never understood that if you want to compete in the NFC East, if you want to match up with the Eagles, who've always had Lane Johnson and Mailata, if you want to keep up with the Cowboys, who've had Tyron Smith forever, you gotta invest in elite tackles. Adam Peters got it from day one. That's why he went all in on Tunsil. And another thing, Tunsil isn't just pass pro. He dominates in the run game too. The guy moves in space like a massive tight end. He can pull on counters, lead whams, go up to the 2nd level and hunt down linebackers. And when you need that tough yard on 3rd and short or 4th and 1, run behind Tunsil. You know you'll get those inches. That's exactly what we've watched so far. Brian Robinson Jr.'s having his best season ever. And a huge chunk of that is Tunsil opening up truck-sized lanes on the left. Austin Eckler is finding seams that didn't even exist a year ago. When you've got a tackle who can ball out in both pass pro and the run game, you know you've got something special. What's got me even more fired up? Tunsil's leadership. This is a guy who's played on big stages, been part of winning teams, knows what it takes to succeed in this league. That veteran presence is priceless for a young O-line. Brandon Coleman's only in his 2nd year. Sam Cosmi's battling back from injury. Tyler Biadasz just came over. Having a dude like Tunsil who can mentor, set the standard, and show what an elite pro looks like. That's how good lines become great lines. And a little history for Washington fans: the last truly elite left tackles we had were Chris Samuels and Trent Williams. Samuels went to 6 Pro Bowls, protected everyone from Brad Johnson to Jason Campbell. Williams was straight up the best tackle in the NFL for almost a decade. And now, finally, we've got someone who belongs in that conversation, ready for the wildest part. Tunsil is 29. He's not washed. He's in his prime. This isn't a short-term fix, this is a foundation piece for the next 5 years. Mix that with Daniels' youth, all the offensive weapons, and Kingsbury's scheme, you start to see the big picture of what's building here. Now my big question for you, if Tunsil keeps this up, holds pressure rates under 3%, keeps Daniels healthy, is he in that first-team All-Pro conversation? I say yes. In fact, if the season ended today, Tunsil deserves to be on that team. The numbers don't lie, the tape doesn't lie, and you can't deny his impact. But all that is nothing compared to what's next. Because this story is about something that goes deeper than talent, deeper than technique, deeper than the numbers. This is pure competitive spirit. This is about a player nobody, and I include plenty of you fans thought could be a factor this year. Luke McCaffrey went from an afterthought to one of this offense's most trusted weapons. And Dan Quinn just laid out exactly why. But before I get to that, let's set the scene 6 weeks back. McCaffrey was maybe the 5th, maybe the 6th option at receiver. Terry was the obvious number 1. Diami Brown coming back. Olamide Zacco's just signed. And then we traded for Deebo Samuel Sr. and drafted Jalen Lane. Where was Luke in that mix? Right at the end. But here's what separates average players from winners. Average dudes complain, make excuses, ask to be sent out. Winners, the competitors, put their head down and work. That's exactly what McCaffrey did. While everybody else was writing his NFL obituary, he was out in Ashburn, perfecting his route running, watching film till 2 a.m., grinding in the weight room to boost his explosiveness. Then came the moment. Terry goes down, Noah Brown can't stay healthy, and all of a sudden Luke's in the game on critical snaps. What does he do? He produces. Touchdown against the Raiders. Touchdown against the Falcons. And then when Jaden Daniels gets back against the Chargers and needs a huge deep ball, who does he look for? His draft classmate Luke McCaffrey. Now listen to what Dan Quinn said, because this tells the whole story. I first noticed his route running experience and all the technique that comes with that. Coming in with that quarterback background, maybe seeing too much at times. But then he really got into the receiver details, technique, the specific routes. But the one thing that separates him, that you can feel, is his competitive spirit. Let's break that down, because it's deep. Quinn is saying McCaffrey came in with all the physical tools, the athleticism, the football smarts from playing QB at Rice. But what's separating him now? What's got him out there in key moments? Is competitiveness, that I'm not taking no for an answer mindset. I'm gonna earn every snap. And yeah, we all know the last name is brothers Christian McCaffrey, one of the best running backs out there. But Luke isn't trying to be his brother. He's out to be the best version of himself. That's what makes this story special. But you want to know what really impresses me? It's not just that he's making catches, it's how he's making them. Look at the tape against the Chargers. There's a play where Jaden throws him a back shoulder ball on a comeback, not a perfect pass. Corner drape all over him, McCaffrey just boxes out the DB, adjusts, and snags the ball like it's nothing. You don't coach that. That comes from having competitive fire baked in. And then you got his return game. Luke's one of the most dangerous returners in the league right now. He's averaging almost 13 yards per return. That's elite for kickoffs these days. Every time he touches it, you can see he's hunting for a big play. He doesn't just want the 25. He's looking for that seam to break a 60, 70-yarder. So here's the uncomfortable question the team's got to face. What do you do when everybody's healthy? Because McCaffrey has earned his snaps. You can't bench him when Terry and Noah come back just because of some depth chart pecking order. He's delivered when the team needed him most. He's proven he can be trusted in the big spots, and honestly, he's outplayed everyone's expectations. I'm telling you now, if I'm Cliff Kingsbury, I'm finding ways to keep McCaffrey on the field. Maybe more 3-receiver sets. Maybe roll out more for wides. Maybe those key third downs where his hands and dog mentality are clutch. But you don't park this guy with this kind of confidence and momentum. Just can't do it. Here's why I believe McCaffrey isn't a flash in the pan. And this is no luck streak. His growth as a route runner. Last year he was still learning, sometimes overthinking, not fully trusting his technique. This year, different story. His breaks are sharper. He's separating at the top of routes consistently. His chemistry with Daniels is unreal, at times feels almost telepathic. Quinn mentioned he played QB before, and that's key for how fast he's developed. As a former quarterback, Luke gets spacing concepts. He knows why certain routes work against certain coverages, how to help his QB adjust on the fly. Mix that intelligence, that athleticism, and that competitive edge, you get a killer combo. Another angle folks are missing the impact on the locker room. When a 4th-round pick, who barely made the depth chart, grinds their way onto the field and delivers, it sends a message to the whole team: put in the work, compete every damn day. You will get your shot. That's precisely the kind of culture Dan Quinn wants. Doesn't matter your draft slot, your last contract, or your name. It's about competing, producing, winning. Luke McCaffrey is walking proof of that. So let me ask now, how many of you already counted McCaffrey out before the season? I bet most did. I did, I admit it. Thought he'd be just a special teamer, maybe a break glass in case of emergency wideout. He proved us all dead wrong. That's what the real competitors do, use doubt as fuel. Here's the reality: McCaffrey is about to break his total receiving yard mark from last season already, and it's only week 6. He's creating separation, making contested catches look routine, showing wiggle after the catch that we never saw last season. This is a guy who's getting better, growing, and could be a long-term piece for this offense. Final prediction on McCaffrey: if his trajectory keeps pointing up, if he keeps up this production, keeps showing this dog in him, he's gonna end up one of the best value picks in the entire 2024 draft class. Pick 100, round 4, and he's outperforming guys drafted way higher. That's not luck, that's competitor mentality. So let's recap. This is big. Terry McLaurin and a bunch of key guys possibly back for Monday Night Football. Laramie Tunsil balling out like a first-team All-Pro. And Luke McCaffrey proving every doubter wrong with straight-up competitive grit. 3 huge stories. But just one takeaway: this is not the same Commanders organization you knew 2 years back. This is a team built on professionalism, making smart decisions, and putting competition ahead of everything else. Now I want to hear from you. First question: should Dan Quinn play Terry McLaurin Monday, even if he's only 85% healthy, or wait till he's 100%? Second question: is Laramie Tunsil a real All-Pro candidate if he keeps playing like this? Third question: what do we do with Luke McCaffrey when everyone's ready? Keep him in the lineup, or go back to the old depth chart? Drop your takes in the comments. I read every single one. This community isn't just a YouTube channel. This is a family of Commanders fans sick of surface-level content, who want the real breakdowns, who want the truth about our team. If you're with me on this, if you think the organization is finally doing things right, smash that like button. If you think I'm crazy and being dehyped, like it anyway and tell me why below. And if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting on? The channel is blowing up because you, the best NFL fanbase, are sharing, commenting, and building something special. Tomorrow we'll have more breakdowns on the Bears game, deep diving into key matchups, talking about the defensive adjustments we need to slow down Caleb Williams. And trust me, there's gonna be more breaking news because this team is finally headed in the right direction. And the exciting stuff just keeps coming. So stay locked in, keep engaging, and remember, we're more than fans. We're a family. This is our team, our city. And finally, we have real reasons to believe something special is being built in Ashburn.